pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be seen, no, shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. Yeah. So that dress is getting lifted up, man. Everyone's seeing the bare, scaly, cellulite ridden legs, man. That basically are this whole American system and European system as well, man. This whole rulership, it's basically been exposed, for the criminal enterprise it is. And that's really how Esau's run it from the jump. This whole illusion of this system of democracy, that's kind of like the what do you call it? It's like the bone that's been thrown. Fucking hell, really? It's a bone that's been thrown onto the people for them to feel like they're engaging, man. Like there's some kind of factor, there's some kind of part, like they're involved, even though they don't have no say. It's like the brother went into that two-party system. Essentially, people will be like, oh, well,
Every vote counts.
well, not even. I was gonna go to like they'll vote. They might support, for example, let's say Labour, but they only support Labour for like one issue. But then to accept that one issue, you have to accept 20 others. If you're someone who wants nuclear weapons to be done away with, there ain't even a party you can vote for. No, like it's if, for example, in the US, if you wanted them to be demilitarized, there's no party you can vote. Any party you vote for where they're going to demilitarize, they're not getting into any position of power. Because why?
That's enough for some people.
But then people will be like, oh, well, we can't. We're the best we can get. These people are broken, man. They're done. And this is why Esau is able to what? He can do whatever the fuck he wants, and people are going to cheer. They're gonna, it says, as for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Yeah, that's as far as America being that principal place, man, the greatest place on earth, man. Where it's even the funny thing is it's like you look at like Hollywood. There was a period of time it was basically being presented as like the golden city on a hill, but now it's basically looking into and everyone around the world is having to it's basically got a reason to hate, man, to hate America, justifiable reasons to hate them and how they move, man. Because what was it? Country was I thinking of? It says, I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy, upon the ancient thou was very heavily laid thy yoke. Yeah, when Esau was in power, how did he deal with Jacob? These are things, and the thing is now that shit wants to be forgotten. You had what fucking state was it, man? One state in the US, they gave like 25 grand in reparation onto Jake, and Jake was saying that's not enough. And then you had people kind of talking about like, oh wow, how can these guys be complaining? They just got 25 grand for, and they're not even the ones that were. That's the Esau holding himself not guilty. These guys are holding themselves not guilty. Because why? It's all these acts, these things have been done. Esau still got gains from it. 25 grand adjusted for the levels of labor, what Esau was built in America, and even the influence of that on the global economy. When you measure that, you can't even put a number on it, man. That's why the whole place has got to go. Because otherwise, how's the righteous blood has done been crying for hundreds of years? It says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end. Yeah, they said there'll be a lady forever, basically being in an untouchable state. But what? That's done. That's a wrap, man. That whole thing, that whole thing's done. America ain't that lady no more. Everyone's wisened up to how they get down, man. Really, under Trump, it was kind of exemplified. But now it's gone back to Joe Biden. it's giving that illusion of, okay, now we're going back to, the good America. But there never was no good America. That's why it's going to be pushing that same wicked agenda. And it's basically, hey, it's going to get, people are going to eat up. It says, therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. Yeah, not thinking there's going to be any judgment or any loss concern. Even you consider it's like what, the virgin daughter. Because why? When you deal with America, America's not seen any harsh level of destruction, man. The most you can stretch it to is Pearl Harbor, man. And that was a full flag, and that was really one of no account. Yeah, and it was really what, Hawaii? That weren't even on the mainland. So, verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. Yeah, that's the thing. With the destruction of America, it's going to be so swift. It's going to go down in 1 hour. That's how the intensity is going to crank up, man. Because these nations are going to be like, yo, fuck America. Then everyone's going to just press that big red button, jam the thumb into it with venom, and shoot them missiles on America, man. It's going to be done in an hour. In 1 hour, it's all going to be brought to naught. Because that's why even now, no one, who the fuck is thinking about, and that's the thing as well, is as far as the things to be built up, it may take a while, but for something to be destroyed, that shit can be done swiftly. Says, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance, for the great abundance of thine enchantments, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge hath perverted thee. Yeah, that knowledge is no knowledge, because it's that left-hand side, basically utilizing all forms of wickedness. Because that's how really it says, he gained what? His kingdom, his rulership through the sword, through destruction, death, murder, theft, robbery. These are the things that were done to gain it. Then sustained it by what? Essentially dressing up these hats as some form of greatness. Esau this is how great Esau's propaganda machine is, man. Man went to America, some other people were living there, and then came in, said he discovered it, and then took it as ownership, and then said it was manifest destiny. Basically said it was just manifested destiny, which is what some manner of way to make it a grand exploit. But all that happened was it was an act of robbery, man. But that's the mindset of this what people have grown up being reverencing, man. Reverencing these men and these events like they were somehow great. And that's the mindset as well. That's why it's like Jake. All they'll learn about is as far back as slavery, man. They'll learn as well. The only like so-called black icons put up in the black community or what? Basically people within the society, man. They're basically looking for a place to reside in this society. But that's not even. There's nothing to be gained from that. Salvation doesn't lie in that direction. All that lies is the same place. It's 2021. You have all your black icons leading up to 2021. Niggas still ain't shit out here. Y'all are finding out now. Well, Megan was getting bullied. I mean, what the fuck do you expect? No one likes you so-called blacks, man. That's this whole society. As far as if Jake ain't loved out here, man. Said there were gonna be what, a residue among the heathen, wherein there's no wherein there's no pleasure. Can't remember to use that word. But it said what? No one takes pleasure in Jake, man.
That's
Jake
a prophetic weak spirit to have.
Yeah.
Want to be loved.
Who the fuck? Oh, fuck that.
The idea to love you. The idea that I desire love from the devil, it makes my blood boil, bro. I want nothing from I don't care who in. What what is he? What weight does he hold in the realm of men? In the realm of not even men. In the realm of Yahweh Bar Shem Yahweh Shai Bar Shem Rakar Kudosh. Who is he? Job wouldn't even let him lie down with his dogs, man. I'm seeking his validation. Are you crazy? Man, that's why Jake, you gotta take you niggas out there, you gotta take a real deep look into your eyes in the mirror, man. And if you can't, if that's how you still feel, then the missiles, if you make it that far, is waiting for you, man.
Yeah, it says, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be altogether unpunished. So yeah, Esau's going to get his, and everyone that's joined onto him is going to get his. It says what? Was it all day joined onto them shall be thrust through?
Yeah, I was going to get that.
Okay, let me read a bit more of this. It says, verse 10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Yeah, all this, you know, you invest in all these plans. Everything's going to be thrown out the window, and then oil's going to be poured over it, and it's going to get nuked. Because all Esau's labor for, everything he's tried to achieve, it's going to come. It's going to be amount to stubble, man.
Yeah. There's a book of Isaiah 13 and 15. It says, let me actually start from 14. And it shall be as a chased roe and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, flee everyone to into his own land. And that's basically about destruction, where the queen is going to be like a chased roe or like a sheep that no man taketh up. It's going to happen with great speed. Alright? Every man's going to return unto the old people. They're going to be seeking to get away from the destruction, the impending doom. Verse 15. That's the point. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto it shall fall by the sword. They're all going to fall. And that's the thing. It's like any society when it goes down, man. First of all, the Lord's a man of war. That's the first thing. So the Lord desires for these places to be destroyed in such a manner, man. That's why it's the whole kind of doctrine of Esau now is meant to be like, everyone's meant to just be as peaceable as possible with each other. Yet this guy, he's to go around and bomb Syria with impunity. And then it's even like with what's his face, man, Obrizi getting a Nobel Peace Prize after, despite having the highest drone strike record at his time, which I think Trump beat, or maybe not. I had to double check. But that's the thing. It's all this. The Lord gets down with warfare. The Lord gets down with destruction, and that's what's going to occur. It's gonna become just like that ancient. You watch. I was watching a bit of 300. That gritty warfare, man. When men are just going at each other. That's far away from this place, man. People out here thinking about having to fight for their lives. But hey, that's what it's gonna come to. Even something as simple as food. This is a motherfucking island, man. It gets daily deliveries, man. You had a little bit of issues at the border as far as getting food, and then shelves started getting empty. Fresh produce was getting scarce. This is after a few days. Just a few days of Jews basically at the border. So these, shit's gonna get medieval real quick. Jump back in Isaiah. No, I've got Isaiah 47 and
And 12 it says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Yeah, so this is a site that's built off what? Witchcraft. Because even another, it's that whole alphabet agenda getting pushed. A big part of that is what? Is that sex magic, man, that witchcraft. Because as far as with Esau's, what's the word I'm looking for, man? The ceremonies and observations he does all through the left-hand side, man. This guy, he keeps his wicked high holy day. And you can see through, you know, how as far as in society, these things are still reverenced, man. Even though it's as far as Christianity is no longer a significant factor in Esau society, but then what? Christmas, Easter, even Lent, these things are still reverenced. Why? Because it's all for them, that left-hand side, man. Them high holy days. Them, what is it? The winter solstice, spring equinox, all these different high holy days that were observed in witchcraft. These things are upheld. And it says, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. And that's what Esau's putting his energy behind as far as to achieve his plans. He's profited from it. That's why you have a lot of people get into that, even Jake getting into Judge. Because why? They'll receive reward. It will basically work in their favor for a season. So they'll fuck with it. But then what? Down the line, the Lord's basically going to catch you. It says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them. Yeah, all these different observations are being done. And that astrology shit, had it blown up for a while. Especially among these black women, man. Well, women in general, really. Star signs and all that shit, they get all into it, man. Witchcraft, you have that's just become a normal thing as well, where you have women just kind of going to classes, men as well, just going to classes, casting spells, learning chants, all these different things, dealing with ancient ceremonies that people get into and just learning and observing them. Why? Because they're basically now it's just a fad. But it's what? It's completely off.
But even like right now, you have a big trend with mindfulness, self-development, these different things, which there's some accuracy to it, like there's some truth in it, there's some things you can kind of take from it and utilize in yourself and apply. But main thing being is that one of the main things they push is meditation. Like opening your mind and all these different, like there's different things that they're pumping, and it's like that's transcended to become a universal thing. Alright? And the reason why they're doing that is really because people are feeding into the power of the beast. That's part of, even though it's under the guise of, mindfulness, bettering your life, but it's feeding into, it's giving power to the beast. What you meditating upon, you basically open your mind so you can be more productive. For who and what? For the system, the agenda. Without knowing it, you're feeding into the system of the beast system through an underhand way. And that's really all these things that are being presented to the masses of the people who feed into one thing, being the beast system.
That's why brothers' channels are getting nuked. Yeah. But then, hey, if you're in alignment with, or if you're in alignment with the system, that's the shit getting promoted, man. Yeah. That folly. You go on like the YouTube trending page, it's all party and bullshit. And party and bullshit. Verse 14, behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, no fire to set up before it. Yeah. All that they're laboring for, and all that whole system they're trusting in, are they going to be able to avert their own judgment? Hell no. That's the thing. Is this place is like we said, Esau's the end of the world. Jacob's the beginning of it. Followers. This place is toast. No one's going to be talking about Las Vegas, Atlanta, New York, the Big Apple. All these things are now significant. California, yeah, all that shit. It's going to be forgotten, man. These things they're not going to be of any account. When you get in the kingdom, being an Edomite is going to be a slur. It's like being a nigger, right? Being a nigger, people get. There's a whole history behind it, man. Being an Edomite is going to be the same thing. You're in the kingdom, you're an Edomite. They ain't going to be fucking with you. Read, Isaiah 14. When it says, is this the man? When Esau's reduced to his true state, everyone's going to be like, damn, is this the man? Like, hold on. We thought this guy was a world-conquering legend. But they're just like, wait, this guy's just a grimy bastard, man. This guy's skin's feeling in the sun. What the fuck's going on? I thought this guy was untouchable. And that's how it's going to be. Because it's right now, the people's minds, they're completely whacked out.
Alright, man, until next week, man. Lord willing. Shalom. 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 Shalom.